Hi, my name is Adam Neely, and this is going to be a lesson on playing with one finger on bass guitar. Now, why would we play with just one finger when we could play with two fingers and play Neely at 5,000 miles per hour and impress everybody? The answer lies with a pick and how guitar players use a pick. Let me play the same sort of chugga-chugga guitar line using all downstrokes and then using an alternating down and up stroke sort of thing. Here's all downstrokes. Down, up. Now, depending on the context, because there is context for the second one, most guitarists would play it with the first one, all downstrokes. Now, why is that? It's because of what music theory snobs, like myself, would generally describe as the insistence of articulation. And what that basically means is that every single note has the same attack, and every single note has the same sort of general feeling to it, because it's attacked and is played the same way. The articulation is insisted upon, I guess, what that means. With bass players, we don't really have that option, at least when we're playing with two fingers, because each attack comes from a different source, the index finger and the middle finger. Kind of how when we're playing with this pick, the hold down up, we go down, that's one attack, and then up, that's another sort of attack. Now, this is how a bass player, using two fingers, would play that line. Cool, nothing wrong with that. However, it doesn't have the same insistence of articulation as if we play it with one finger. Oh. Now, there's might not be too much sonic difference between the two of them, but what makes the difference is how you feel about the line. And what I've found, at least for myself, is I feel like I can lock in a lot better with people if I'm playing that sort of line, especially when the guitarist is doing all the down chugs, if I'm playing that line with just one finger. And so for most simple things, which is pretty much most of what I do anyway, when I'm playing with one finger. It just ends up feeling a little bit better for me. Now, the place where this is really obvious is in walking bass lines, because when upright players play, it's a point of honor, it's a point of bravura to only play with one finger, even if the line is going at like 5,000 miles an hour on Cherokee or whatever. They would never deign to play with two fingers. And so, I mean, on electric, it kind of feels the same way. It's just playing with one finger. For me, at least, it feels like one finger is really just where it's at with walking bass lines. Now, finally, one thing that a lot of people might sort of contend with is like, oh, but you can't play fast with one finger. That's true. Generally speaking, our job as bass players isn't to play fast, but you can still get pretty notey. For example, the bass line to the chicken. One finger. You can still play some funky little stuff, and the master of this, of course, was Jamerson. And part of the reason I think why the lines grooved so hard was that insistence of articulation. Even if the lines are all syncopated and all over the place and all that junk, every note had the same sort of attack, and he was feeling the same about every single note. He wasn't worried about, each note on different syncopated, the E's and the U's being different sounds because of these two fingers. Everything was naturally going to be the same. So when you're working on all of this stuff, make sure to keep your hand relaxed, especially if you want to do all the notey bull crap. Really make sure that your hand is nice and relaxed while you're doing this. Also, I found that generally the first finger, for whatever reason, just feels the best. I've tried doing the middle finger, and it's funny that you're raising the middle finger, you're flipping the bird to everybody. But for some reason, it doesn't quite have the same feeling to it. Now, one thing that for some reason, I like playing with both the middle finger and the third finger together. I've done that sometimes. on walking lines, kind of like it feels like you're grabbing the note like that, which kind of has a certain feeling to it. I don't know. But generally, most of the time, I'm using just the hook, as Jamerson would call it. Anyway, I hope that gave you some ideas.